Virtually every camera club or photographic society will demand that images submitted to club activities should be within a certain size. Generally, this means an image no longer than 1920 pixels in width or 1080 pixels in height. In Lightroom, we can make a preset from the export module because we want to be confident that our image size is correct every time and doesn't break club rules. So let's begin in the export module, and we'll start at the top here with the location. I'm going to stay with the desktop just for ease of use for this video, but I'm going to create a subfolder and I'll call it something like Camera Club 2022. But there's nothing else under the export location we need. I don't want to rename the files here, and I have no use for video here. We do need the file settings. We do need to select JPEG, and as you can see it's already selected. We do need sRGB, and the quality, well, I'd probably put it up to about 100, but some people use anything from 80 or 80 to 100 here. But that's all we need. Moving on to the image sizing, this is the important area. We need to tick to resize to fit. We have a number of options here, but I'm going to suggest we use width and height. And the reason for that is I can put the values which the club define as the size of the images, and as I've said earlier on, that's likely to be 1920 x 1080. The resolution is irrelevant. You don't have to worry about this at all. There's nothing we need to worry about in output sharpening. I would do all of that in the original manipulation of the image. I'm not concerned with metadata or watermarking. Post-processing, well, most of the time I do nothing, but on this particular occasion, let's do a little bit of experimentation. I'm going to show the images in Explorer once they've been exported, so that I can view them and we can take a look. So with all of those set, if we click Add, there we get an opportunity to put a name again. Let's stay with what I chose a moment ago. And create. And there you can see it. Now, because we selected the width and height to be 1920 by 1080, Lightroom will recognize that it's not possible to create this size and aspect ratio from an image of a different aspect ratio. But the good news is it'll work things out for us. So let's go down and click Done, and we'll do a little experiment. As you can see here, I've got a few images. Let's select this one, because this one is more or less 3:2 aspect ratio, the sort of image size and ratio we get from a digital SLR. Here I have a square format, this one obviously more panoramic. We have one vertical and one extra for luck. So if we go to our export and we select Camera Club and we choose export, if you look up at the top left very quickly, it did exactly what we asked for, and it's opened Windows Explorer. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to leave the naming of these images is that I'll do that when I select which ones I may wish to submit to the competition, assuming that's what we're doing here, because it's quite on the cards to select 4 or 5 images or more, of which we have to select 2 to submit. Now, as you can see here, I've made the thumbnails a little larger, and if we mouse over the first image, which should be around about 3:2 aspect ratio, we can see that the preset has done a perfect job. Of course, it cannot meet our 1920 pixels on the long side without breaking the height. And in this instance, choosing the height was the correct thing to do. Let's have a look at the portrait format. And there again, the correct thing to do here was to create the image at 1080 pixels in height. Let's jump across to the panoramic image. Here we're very close to our 16:9 aspect ratio, but not quite. But here the preset has recognised that it can give us 1920 pixels without breaking that 1080. So another perfect choice for that preset. And we've got the square, which should be 1080 on both sides, width and height, and sure enough it is. This one I'm not sure of what format we started with, but nevertheless it's done exactly what we need. And it's here where I would be renaming these. I would select an image, hit F2, and I can give this a name. Thanks for watching.